Welcome to Find Your New Starting Line. Here's our introduction. A new physical goal, or climb, we'll say, often defines a new starting line in life, one that opens up a new awareness of a new beginning, not just in athletics, but in all areas of life. New physical challenges, even at the beginning, spark new hope. So these podcasts are interviews with people at different phases of their lives, from their 20s to 80s. Many are at the beginning of their climb. Some, however, reflect on their experience after their climb. And interviewees include Division I coaches, professional athletes, recreational athletes, surgeons, artists, executives, students, teachers, and others, all kinds of people. So I'm Kathy Utschneider, professor of goal achievement and sports leadership at Boston College and founder of Move, a goal achievement community grounded in physical goals. So here we go. Now, I'm here today with Judy Smith, Dr. Judy Smith, orthopedic surgeon, and a woman of many achievements in a variety of athletics and in other areas of life. Judy, would you like to tell us just a few things of the many that you would like to introduce yourself with before we focus in on the new physical challenge? You're a hand surgeon, right? I mean, you're an ankle and foot and ankle surgeon, right?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm a 67-year-old orthopedic surgeon. My subspecialty focus has been foot and ankle reconstruction. And of course, I've spent decades of my life helping others with physical difficulties to restore function. And so the whole goal of an orthopedic surgeon is to maintain or improve the patient's ability to uh, perform physical activities, whether that's activities of daily living or additional sports pursuits. We believe that it's important to keep active. And in fact, when patients would ask for a wheelchair, I would often encourage them to think again and realize that the whole purpose of coming to see me was so that they could not be in a wheelchair.
Love it, love it. And you were just thinking way back about your history. You played lacrosse in college, lacrosse goalie, is that right?
Yes, I played lacrosse and field hockey both in high school and in college. I was very athletic. That tapered off as I went through fairly rigorous training
Sure.
and having a family and taking call at night, et cetera, et cetera. And then more recently, um, about 4 or 5 years ago, I met you, Kathy, and started getting involved in what I think was my natural tendency to be physically active and stay in shape. So I got a coach through Move and began training, and I qualified for the Senior Olympic Games in Pittsburgh in 2023, running the 800 meter. And that was my first big outburst with Move.
And a return to a new challenge. So, how and why did you decide it was the right time to take on the challenge of doing the track and field, the 800? What inspired it really?
Just the goals of Move, being dedicated to a process of continual improvement. I find that I need to have my breadcrumbs. I need to have goals that I work toward, metrics, the whole Move process. And having a coach, little by little, I started doing more and more. And then in Mississippi, I was able to achieve times that allowed me to participate at the national level, which was very exciting.
Completely. And it must have been a new world. So the next question is, or there are groups of questions, are about breakthroughs. So What realizations have you had uh, about from based on this experience? Where are you now, and how has your experience affected the rest of your life? Because we're full people as adults, your values, your work, your family, friendships, etc. And what surprises you the most? So you can pick from any of those questions. But yeah.
Well, I'm going to pivot at this point.
Huh.
The original challenge, the climb, so to speak, was to run the 800. During the 800, I tore my hamstring. And so the goal at that point became physical recovery from an injury to the right lower extremity. I had surgery, year to a year and a half recovery, and that's what led to the next challenge. I had no choice but to recover because I wanted to be able to walk and at least perform simple activities of daily living. So I was recovering from that, and I developed a rare musculoskeletal illness the next year in 2024, also affecting my right lower extremity, which was an autoimmune lumbosacral plexopathy, a complicated thing, but again, a musculoskeletal problem on the same leg, resulting in marked weakness to the point that I needed to um, have crutches or a knee scooter. So interestingly enough, that became the challenge to recover from these two successive injuries. And initially, I thought that I would probably not be able to continue with move. I was injured. I I was using a knee scooter and crutches. And you, Kathy, encouraged me to keep coming back, to stay attached to move, to stay in the game. So the breakthrough was the realization that I needed to actually make sure that I continued to participate, to make sure that I maintained community and activity and followed the move goals. Another result of these challenges was that I decided I needed to reduce stress. And having had both injuries, it was as if there was a message that I should consider retirement. So then the next challenge became not a physical challenge, but more of a mental challenge. How should I retire? What is the transition of retirement? And can the move process be applied to something other than a physical goal? And the breakthrough was that I needed to focus on my own health, not the health of others. I needed time for recovery to work out, which is hard when you're operating and seeing patients all day and taking call. And the hardest challenge with retiring for a surgeon is letting go of your self-image, your ego, what you've been for decades and decades and decades, and transitioning to a whole different self. So I am in the early days of that. And I'm trying to establish a rhythm, a schedule, and continuity. And I have much more time now for myself, for relationships, for family, for community. And that is fantastic.
The other thing that I've noticed or I know about you is that you, despite the two recent setbacks, health setbacks, you are doing strength training regularly, you're swimming regularly, and you're participating in more sailing events, sail races. And thinking about that and looking back and then looking forward, what are you building towards next, and what do you want others to know about finding a new starting line?
Well, I am continuing to build my strength, and I'm doing better now that I actually have time to be more consistent. I'm actually participating in a biking event in 2 days.
Oh, great. What's that one?
That's called Farm to Fork, and it's to provide food from the farms to people with food insecurity. So it's a great cause, and you go out and you ride. And I always sign up whether I can make it or not because I think it's just a great cause. So I'll be doing that in 2 days. As I said, I need my little breadcrumbs. But my ultimate goal is to be the best that I can be. I don't know if I'll get a full recovery from this lumbosacral plexopathy, but unlike many, many people with this very rare problem, um, I am walking, I can jog, I can ride a bike, I can do a lot of physical exercise. So that in and of itself has been a huge achievement, and I want to continue to improve. And I can see recovery for up to 2 years from this. What is the impact of the climb? Well, I think the most meaningful to me is the gift of time, the ability to read, to reflect, to exercise, to relax, to give back, and time to notice the small and joyful things that we often miss every day. So, as I am early in this new process, I would like to develop more consistency and focus, but also keep spontaneity along with that regular rhythm. So the biggest takeaway for me is that Move started as a means to maintain fitness as I aged. It then transitioned to consistent progress toward recovery after an injury and an illness, 1 year apart from each other, both affecting the same leg. And the final thing that I've realized is that I can apply Move to any process, including my retirement. So it really is a universal method of achieving goals that is um, very impactful and life-changing.
Judy, thank you so much.